Maybe you're like me and you're always waiting and anticipating to the end of the month when you will get your pay, because what you got at the start of the month has finished basically. If you're like that, then this video is for you. Like the title says, these are 5 money habits that would keep you broke, and if you abstain from these habits, then you can probably be a rich guy or rich girl in the trenches. I'm sure if I asked most people that are in low financial states, what do you think can stop you from being broke or help you not to be broke any longer, and people will say, find me a job or find me some source of income that would enable me to start making money. But lately I've been reading the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Yep. And Robert Kiyosaki says that it's not about how much you make, it's more so about how much you keep. So yes, you've tried so many ways that you can make money, but you haven't found what works for you. You probably applied for jobs and you haven't gotten any, or you have a job and it's not making you the amount of money that you need to make. There's almost nothing you can do right now, like at the point of listening to this video. But what you can do is manage how much you spend. And if you can manage how much you spend, or as Robert puts it, find a way to keep the money that you have properly, then you're one step closer to getting to the financial level that you want to get to. Well, without further ado, let's talk about the 5 money habits that keep most of us broke and stuck in the trenches basically. So the first rule is know how much you spend. The truth of it is many of us don't know how much we spend. And it's funny because some of us don't even have a source of income. We just know that we spend a lot of money. And it's quite odd. I remember opening my bank app because it would like tell me how much I've spent on different things, you know. And I saw that I've spent a lot of money in the past few months on internet, like just Wi-Fi subscription and all these kind of things, and it was crazy. So towards the end of the month, I run out of cash because I don't know how much I spend. I literally just know that there's money in my account and I swipe wherever I want to swipe. So every single month, at the start of the month, I would budget how much I want to spend for that particular month. And at the end of the month, I would review and go over if I met that budget, if I exceeded it, what I need to cut down. So what you can do is get a note, or you can use your phone, and every time you spend anything, like it doesn't really matter what it is, even if it's the lowest of things, it could be sweet, it could be bread, whatever the case is, write that down in your note. Do that for a week, do that for 2 weeks, and do that for a full month, and see what takes most of your money and how you can reduce that. When I found out that I spend so much on internet, like every single month, I started to reduce the amount of hours that I spend on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, and all these social media platforms. And it has reduced, not so drastically, but reduced how much I spend every single month on internet. So track how much you spend by journaling or writing or whatever the case may be. Just track how much you spend, write it down, review it, and cut some of those things that you don't need. So we go on to habit number 2, and this is common with most of us. You consume more than you create, meaning that your liabilities are more than your assets. So without getting all too nerdy and financial, assets are things that will add money to your pocket, and liabilities are things that will take money out of that pocket, as simple as I can put it. The truth is, everybody will have liabilities, right? Like you always have something to spend, even if you don't earn. Before I started to earn money, I had a lot of things that I spend money on. Right now it's more, but before I had an income source, I did have things that I spent my money on. So the safe way to go about it is not to cut out your liabilities in general, because that's almost not possible. All you can do is increase your assets. So the simplest thing to do is to get a job, right? So if you're anything like me, I'm 18 years old, I'm not yet in university, I probably cannot get a corporate job. At least I can't get a job that would pay me more than my liabilities right now. Then you could probably think of ways that you can make money, i.e. entrepreneurship. By the way, if you want to check out my video on 5 misconceptions about entrepreneurship, like everything is 5, I don't know why. But if you want to check out my 5 misconceptions on entrepreneurship, I will link it up here so you can check that out right after this video. So back to what we're saying, if you cannot get a job, then you could start something entrepreneurial. There are so many ways to make money as a teenager nowadays, and if you've thought of so many things but you can't seem to find what fits you, then maybe you could try backtracking, where you spend all your money and seeing if you can profit from those places. For example, I spend most of my money on internet. At some point in my life, I wanted to start selling recharge cards, but I couldn't because, you know, a lot of people buy their internet or their data online, so that would not be a feasible way to make money. But another place I spend all my money on, or most of my money I should say, is POS transactions. Now, if you don't know what this is, it's basically like a mobile form of an ATM. So instead of withdrawing the exact amount of money that you want to withdraw, you would pay just a little bit extra so you don't have to stand in queues and all these kind of things. so you could get a POS machine or hire someone to do that, however the case may be, and just start to make money from there. Now, all these ideas are basically mine. These are places I spend my money. If you spend your money on food, then you could start thinking of starting a home restaurant or home delivery service, things like this. Just backtrack where you spend the most of your money and see how you can profit from that type of business model. So for our third habit, we have don't pay for stuff in installments. This is one of the biggest scams that these product services have to offer. Oh, okay, you can get it and you can pay bit by bit. Like, that basically screams you cannot afford this right now. Wait till you save up to get it before you can get it, right? So many people find themselves in debt or find themselves in low financial situations because of the flashy stuff. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like flashy stuff, right? But if I cannot afford it, I simply cannot afford it. I do one of the two things. I either save for it or I find something to do that can maybe earn me money to be able to get that thing. But to pay for stuff in installments, that's a scam on you, my friend. Because firstly, you are going to pay an interest. The interest is not so crazy that it would scare you from doing that. But the fact that you have to pay for it in installments, like I mentioned, means that you cannot afford that particular thing. If you cannot afford it, then there is no need for you to get it right now. You could save for it and pay for it all at once, or just wait till you have a bigger source of income. So for the fourth habit that you should abstain from is not paying yourself first. Now, this is for my guys that have a regular source of income. For example, for the month of September, I already know or have an idea of how much I'm going to make in that month. Well, except I need a new business and, all these kind of things. But nevertheless, I have an idea, all right? So when you get your income at the start or at the end of the month, what you should do is pay yourself first. Now, what does this mean? Everyone wants to save. Like, people want to save, people want to invest, but they just don't have enough money to do that. That's a lie. The reason you cannot save is because saving is not your priority. You try to do that last, all right? You would say that, oh, okay, when I sort out my bills and all these kind of things, then I would save the rest. Doing that already gives you room in your mind not to save, because you have the free will to spend as you like. Then you would save the remnants of it. It should be you saving, then spending the remnant. For like a couple of months now, I haven't been very good in my saving habits. It's been terrible. I would do what I'm talking about. I would spend first and save later. So when I get my pay, I get at the start of every month, I would take a certain amount of money. It could be 40 to 50% of my total income is what I would lock in my PiggyVest account. And notice I said lock, because I don't just put it there. If I just put it there, then I'm tempted. Like, I know, okay, it's there, so I could always take it out whenever I wanted. So I would lock it for the full month, and no matter what happens, I cannot break that lock. Like, even if there's an emergency, there's really nothing I can do to unlock it till that period of time is up. So if you want to use the savings app I use PiggyVest. It's absolutely great. Like, the safe lock feature is my favorite because it helps me from not spending when I want to spend. There's nothing like a breaking fee. Once you lock it, it's locked till the particular period you put it in is done. So you can click the link in the description to register for PiggyVest. I think you get like some sort of reward or like cash back if you do so. So yeah, link in the description. So what I realized about paying myself first is whenever I pay myself first, i.e. lock my savings in my PiggyVest account, I found that the amount of money that I have left to spend for that month always is enough for me for that month. Don't get me wrong, for like the last few days of the month, I'm very eager to get my next pay, but I distribute it properly because I know, like, okay, this is all I have to work with. So if there's an outing that I cannot afford, I would literally tell, like, bro, I cannot afford this right now. If there's something I can get, I would wait till I can get it, because I know I only have a very small amount to spend for that particular month. But by the next month, I would have more money to spend if that's what I wanted to do, or to invest in some kind of business because I have saved in the previous month. So don't scam yourself, man. Pay yourself first. So for my final money habit, we have you don't spend money properly. Like I said earlier in the video, it's not possible for you not to have liabilities or to eradicate every single one of your liabilities. So you will spend, so you might as well know how to spend and spend your money properly. And what do I mean? If you want to get clothing items, for example, you would want to get things that you can use for different purposes. For example, if I was going for a wedding and the theme was pink, let's say for some magical reason I have the amount of money that I need to get a suit. Instead of getting a pink suit, that would be lovely, by the way, what I would do is probably get a pink shirt and wear white pants or wear black pants, and go for that, because I know that I could wear black pants with almost anything. And I can wear a pink shirt with almost anything as well. But I wouldn't always wear a pink suit because it's sort of loud. If it's not a major event, then I would have wasted my money, if you get what I mean. So now, if you have the money to spend on things like that, that's totally fine. But if you want to manage your money, you want to get things that you can use for different purposes so you don't have to spend as much. Or bags, for example. You could get a tote bag because you can use that for anything. You can use that for, school, you can use that for going to church, you can use that for the market, for outings, all these kind of things, as opposed to getting a drawstring bag. A drawstring bag is good, but you cannot use it for as many purposes as you want. Now, these are just some of the examples on how I would spend my money buying some of these things. There are so many other examples like that. So what you should always think about is this thing that you're buying. Can you use it for different occasions and it would fit properly? If yes, then it's probably a good fit. But if you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. We're just looking for ways to try and save and keep as much money as we can so we can get out of the trenches one day. So that will be all for this video. I'm almost confident that if you abstain from these 5 habits, or at least do the opposite of these 5 habits, that you can get a few steps closer to the financial level that you want to attain. Well, before I go, I just want to thank you guys on my last video. I think it went viral. Like, for me right now, viral is what I got. So 440 views right now at the point of making this video. Hopefully when I release this video, it's at 1,000 or 2,000 views. But nevertheless, thank you guys so much. If there is ever anything that you want me to make content about, I make videos on finance, lifestyle, and personal development, then you can always put in the comment section and I will try my possible best to make a video on that. Well, that will be all for today. Like, share, subscribe, all these kind of things. It helps me out and makes me very, very happy. Without further ado, I'll see you guys next week Friday. Have a wonderful week. Take care. Peace.